Now, Sports Extra with Andrew Chernoff.
Hello and welcome into the Sunday Sports Extra. I'm Andrew Chernoff. We have another crazy show for you tonight. San Francisco 49ers tight end Vance McDonald back home in Southeast Texas this week. I go one-on-one with him in a bit. Plus, the Lamar baseball team hoping to wrap up the Cardinal Classic with a W today. We take you out to the Beck a little later in the show. First, though, we begin with high school football. On Wednesday night, we will learn who this year's Willie Ray Smith Award winners are. Last week, we introduced you to the 4 offensive finalists. This week, it's the defense's turn. We all know the phrase, defense wins championships. But for 4 Southeast Texas football players, defense is going to win one of them a Willie Ray Smith Award.
I think 2015 has the best class. I mean, athlete, skill, linemen, everything. So it'll be a dream team.
The 4 defensive finalists for this year's award: Central defensive back P.J. Locke, West Orange Stark defensive back Deontay Thompson, Hardin Jefferson linebacker Blaine Padgett, and Kirbyville safety Corey Cawley. We begin with Central's P.J. Locke. The senior racked up 7 interceptions this season, which showed everyone his dedication to the sport off the field.
Learning behind closed doors, what I do behind closed doors, which is doing film, just learning receiver tendencies, and that slows the game down for me. Central head coach Toby Foreman aware of all the work P.J. put in this season, and well aware of P.J.'s talent.
7 interceptions in 11 games, that's a lot, and he made a lot of plays this year. We asked him to play about 2 or 3 different positions and return punts and everything else, and he did a great job of everything that we asked him to do.
Next up, West Orange Stark's Deontay Thompson. The DB also nominated for this award last season. It must be easy to get noticed when you're the leader of that scary Mustang defense.
One word that I can describe us in is tenacious. I mean, that's a word that Coach T told me my sophomore year, and I really didn't know what it meant, but now I know it meant just like we compete with each other like to see who's going to have the most tackles. And once you're competing with a group of guys on the same team and you're having fun while you're doing it, I mean, no one can stop you.
Head coach Cornell Thompson may want to start using the phrase very tenacious to describe Deontay after the seniors' 2014 campaign.
I always said this, if they're going to throw the ball, I know where they're going to throw, I know where they're not going to throw. So, it was a gamble to throw in his direction, and he made many plays.
Should Deontay take home the honor this year, he says he'll view it as a team award.
My team got me in the position that I'm in. I will put each and every one of their names on that plaque.
Third on our list, Hardin Jefferson senior linebacker Blaine Padgett. Blaine led his Hawks to an 11-2 record this season, thanks in part to his 127 tackles. Blaine says he has plenty of people to thank for his success.
The coaches, it wasn't just, I had to put in some hard work too, but the coaches I've grown up with, all throughout high school, middle school, my dad, the teammates I've played with, it's all helped me get to where I am today.
Blaine, you may have had great coaches, but you have another advantage over your opponents.
I'm bigger than them.
HJ fans spoiled because they also got a chance to watch Blaine play some offense, and that's something that helped him when he was on defense.
The way people step, the way people, how they're standing, how much weight's on their hands, it helps out a lot.
That brings us to Kirbyville senior safety Corey Cawley, one of the keys to the success of the Wildcat defense, which was known to many as the Black Swarm.
We all chase the ball. We all had one passion, and that's to go get the ball. If the ball on the left side, everybody, all 11 guys running to the ball.
Just like a specific Super Bowl champion would, who Cawley mimics his play after.
You see how Cam Chancellor play? He a hard hitter. I like to play like he do. He gonna come down the hill and tackle you, regardless of where you at.
Cawley not the biggest guy on the field, and that's why Kirbyville head coach Greg Neese says looks can be deceiving.
He's not a very big guy, but he plays like he's, about 6'3", about 220. He's one of the hardest hitters in our league, and since I've been at Kirbyville in 2005, he's our best safety we've had.
Wednesday night, cannot wait. Well, it's time for us to take our first time out here on the Sports Extra, but when we come back, San Francisco 49ers tight end Vance McDonald tells us what he's been up to since the NFL season ended. Welcome back to the Sunday Sports Extra. We're in Winnie right now, the First Baptist Church here in Winnie, because one of the NFL stars from this area has actually just spoke to some kids. Vance McDonald, 49ers tight end. Vance, how are you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing pretty good. How's the offseason going so far for you?
It's awesome. My wife and I set off about a week and a half ago to come back home, and we had a couple stops along the way and got to enjoy ourselves. But you know, it's nothing like driving into the borders of Texas and just getting that old South hospitality. So, you know, I'm enjoying it. Like I mentioned a while ago, getting mom's cooking. I always enjoy that, good plate of mom's cooking. But no, just coming back home and just showing everyone the appreciation for all the praise that they give me while I'm out in California. That's the best thing there is.
We caught up with you last year when you spoke to Anahuac High School. Why do you keep doing this? Why do you keep giving back to these kids?
Because they give to me. I think I said the same thing last year, just you know, being able to come back home and see all the faces and hear the voices for myself. I mean, they show me so much support, and they're what drive me along with my family, you know, when I'm out there and, you know, playing the hard game of football. But no, that's exactly why I come home, to show them appreciation back.
First Baptist Church here today, you're talking to these kids. What message do you hope you get across to them today?
Oh, it's a message of grace. I think we live in a world now where that kind of falls by the wayside, and it's the one thing that we should be here doing more than anything, is just extending grace to everyone else.
Know when you're out here, we're close to Houston, a lot of Texans fans, but do you see a lot more 49ers fans from Winnie knowing that you're on the team?
Yeah, I mean, there's always someone, you know, week after week that comes up and talks about how big of a 49ers fan they are, and it's, you know, it's humbling to hear all those stories. But I see how many jerseys I can get out and how many pictures people can hang up on the wall before too long. So, you know, it's great hearing all their stories.
What does it mean to you? I mean, you were once in their position. You were a kid growing up in Winnie, but to have them coming up to you and looking up to you now, what's that feeling like?
It's just humbling. It keeps me grounded, and, you know, above anything else, I just want to be a great example for them, and, you know, just try to give them some advice and steer them along the right way. And not saying that I'm perfect or anything, but, you know, we all just try to help each other out.
Let's talk football for just a couple minutes, if that's okay with you. Second season in the league, how was it compared to your first season?
I had a couple injuries that set me back. Of course, you always go into an NFL season with expectations, and really more or less it kind of makes things harder when you don't meet them, and it can be, you know, debilitating for a team. But, you know, coming through the second season, you know everything, you've done it once, and it makes it easier. But like I said, the NFL season's never easy. But, you know, it's just a year to rebuild, to get remotivated, to get refocused, and that's what we're looking to do this offseason.
Changes to the team. Jim Harbaugh, of course, no longer the 49ers head coach. Jim Tomsula comes in. How's that transition going?
It was awesome. You know, of course, it's sad to see Coach Harbaugh go, and he's such an awesome football coach. You know, and I sat there and thought, and I was like, you know, I wonder who they could possibly bring in to get this team going in the right direction. And, you know, you sit and you wait, and there's just days and days go by, and then a week went by, and finally Jim Tomsula was named, and, you know, I couldn't have been, you know, more excited. I mean, he's an awesome guy, personable guy. Always coming up to you, making sure everything's going well, and all the guys will be really excited to play for him this next year.
What are the expectations coming up?
It's always the Super Bowl. Always getting to the Super Bowl and winning a championship, because that's what it's all about. But I guess side goal, you know, it's just to grow as a team, to try to be winners in everything. Always work hard, always be humbling, but just outwork everyone.
You know where the Super Bowl is this year, Levi's Stadium. Has that crossed your mind at all?
That would be an unbelievable experience and moment in my life. You know, if we get to that point, and we hope it does, and we're going to put in the work to see if we can make it happen.
Individually for you, what's your goal next season?
To just continue to work hard. You know, I can only show up and control myself, control my own, you know, what I can bring to the table, and that's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to focus on that.
Vance, thank you so much for chatting with us today, and thanks for giving back to these kids as well.
Of course.
Stay with us. More Sports Extra right after this. Final day of the Cardinal Classic. Lamar hosting undefeated Illinois. Second inning, Illinois up 1-0, and Lamar struggling at the plate. Tyler Jay gets Kevin Santana to go down swinging. That's one of 6 strikeouts on the day for Jay. Top 3, it's already 3-zip Illinois, and it's not done. Jason Goldstein gets it by the Lamar infield. Reed Roper comes in to score. Fighting Illini rolling, it's 4-0 visitors. Top 4, Illinois once more. Reed Roper slaps this one into left field. Will Krug and Adam Walton each score. It's 7-0 Illinois. Fast start for them. Jump ahead to the 9th. Lamar down 9-1. Cards want to at least score a couple runs, and they do right here. Carter McDowell singles to left. Joe Arichiga scores. Big Red trailing 9-2. And look at that. The Freedmans are excited about that run. Cardinals score only one more run after that, though. Illinois wins 9-3. The loss drops Lamar to 2-2 on the season. LU head coach Jim Gilligan saying the reason for the loss, the team's lack of offense.
If any of our guys in the lineup wanted to know whether they were ready to hit big league pitching, we found out about it in the first inning because that kid was spectacular arm, good slider. He was really nasty, and there was about 50 scouts. I thought we had a VIP event down in our area. It was all scouts watching him warm up. So it's an opportunity to get a chance to hit against guys like that. It gives you a chance to show that you're ready to hit big league pitching, but evidently we're not ready yet. But we're going to work on it.
Time for this week's SCTX Sports High School Boys Basketball Rankings in 6A through 4A. Check this out. Ozan now #1 with Central right behind. North Shore, Sheldon, C.E. King, and Humble round out the top 5. In 3A through private schools, Big Sandy still remains top dog. Kuntz second. Third is Buna. Newton and Woodville are 4th and 5th respectively. Now remember, this is the final week of the boys basketball regular season. And finally tonight, your best fishing game forecast peaking tomorrow at both 11:40 a.m. and midnight. That will do it for us tonight. Thank you so much for watching the Sunday Sports Extra. Tonight, we'll leave you with some of the sights and sounds from a pretty wacky Daytona 500 qualifying day. Jeff Gordon escapes all the craziness with the poll for next week's race. Good night.
And Hamlin goes to the top of the chart with Austin Dillon.
Got one sideways.
And around turn 1 in the wall. And that is Reed Sorensen.
It's NASCAR's fault for putting us out here in the middle of this for nothing. There's absolutely, we used to come down here and worry about who's going to sit on the front row in the pole for the biggest race of the year. Now all we do is come down here and worry about how a starting park like this out of desperation is going to knock us out of the Daytona 500.
That clock gets to...
This has been the KFDM Sports.